Should probably clap this time.
Clapperoo.
Yeah, as always, Spud's clap does not come out through on the speaker. Just goes silent. You have a silent clap. Have you got the clap?
The sound of one hand. I'm Zen. Zen, man. I am...
What's the sound of Spud's clapping?
What's the Zen highest grade of... No, it's not Samadhi, is it? Samadhi's the Hindu one. What's Zen?
Nirvana.
No, I mean, it's the... No. When they're sitting in their posture and they're meditating. What are they looking for?
Oh, Satori.
Satori, yeah. Not Samadhi, Satori. Yeah. Satori clap.
Yes, Satori clap.
Satori clap. Yeah.
Lads, have you heard? Yeah, Spud's got the Satori clap. Oh, no, it's not right. Scram.
Hey, he was in Czech Republic last week. Stay away from them. Stay away from them Czech young ones.
Yeah. Few antibiotics to be grand. But Jesus, his piss is very burny.
What's the story? Was it Ozzy Osbourne did it or told someone to do it? Someone on the tour bus got the clap or something. And I think Ozzy told him to do it. Yeah. All right, what you got to do is you got to put your knob in bleach.
Oh no! And then
down the hall, you just hear this.
Yeah, it's like the beginning of what's the Mel Gibson one, Apocalypse or whatever it's called, where he's the tribe and he's looking for a way to, I don't know, get some. It's either something similar that, or to be able to have some sort of Viagra like effect, and so the elders give this like chili powder or whatever from to put on the top of it, and he runs out of his head. Obviously inspired. Of course, Ozzy Osbourne actually bit the head off a bat once on stage because every other night they were given a plastic bat, and someone forgot to tell him. Excuse me. That it was a real bat.
Is that what it is? Is it?
Well, I mean, it's as true as any story I've ever heard about Ozzy Osbourne. So I assume it is true. Yeah, probably is true.
It's like the blue M&Ms for Van Halen. Although there was a smart thing behind that. You probably know that, don't you?
Well, I know about the blue M&Ms. Well,
the reason they did it because they had this big long contract and a rider. They would put, we need a bowl of blue M&Ms, but it was to check that to make sure that the venue had read all the requirements.
Right. So if because that was right, then everything else was right.
Yeah. Exactly, everything else was right because they had lots of lighting requirements and all that kind of stuff. You know.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea actually.
What was Queen's one that you had to have? Small people going around with hats with cocaine at the party. That was one of Queen's alleged offences.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Was it all for Freddie? Did they all do drugs? I don't know if Brian. I can't see Brian May fucking loading up on Charlie. You know.
I don't know, you'd be just surprised about everyone, you know, like you think, Brian May, a good guy. Yeah, but probably the worst heroin addict in the world.
Probably the biggest coke fiend in Queen. Yeah. But anyone else we can libel while we're at it?
Probably, yeah. Before we get started, we're only 3 minutes in. Here we go. Peter Kingsley's coke fiend.
3 minutes, that's got to be a record, man. That's got to be the fastest of all time. To mention his kingliness even. Yeah.
Any crack, Kenton Strange? What have you done over the last couple of weeks?
No, I've been trying to catch up on Westworld. I've one to go now.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that today. I cannot wait. Did you enjoy it? Are you enjoying it?
It's very good. Yeah, it's very good. The first 2 episodes are a bit slow because they're kind of trying to remind you of what's already...
What?
What? I watched the first 15 minutes of the first episode. I don't remember any of what the fuck is going on here at all, so I had to watch a recap.
Yeah.
YouTube is brilliant for recaps because there's so many nerds just doing these like half-hour length fucking in-depth recaps. Great.
What you need to know to see season 3.
Yeah, it's really good. And I finished The Man in the High Castle too. That was good. I must read the book now to see how it compares, but I really enjoyed that.
I'm sure it's massively different. It usually is, isn't it, with Philip K?
Well, I mean, don't know. I mean, I can only see that kind of ending that they did. I presume it's something similar.
I've neither read it nor watched it, so don't spoil the ending.
Don't know. It's a really good show, though. Really good. Because
I must watch it.
Do you know what I really liked about it? It's one of those programs that are one of those programs that you can actually watch like when you're commuting, you know, if you're on the tube or the metro or the thing, there's no sex. There's no sex in it at all. I think there's fuck all sex. There's I think there's only boobage like once or twice in the whole four series.
That's male boobage, of course. Yeah. The Nazi boobage.
And is there Nazi boobs? There must be Nazi, yeah, because there's one really hot Nazi chick. She's a Lebensborn Frau, and she's pretty kick-ass actually. And as a person, not just looking, all right, she's pretty cool. Even though she's one of the baddies, but she's a reluctant baddie. She wants to change the world. But yeah, it's good. It's just, you know, bad versus evil. You know what we would do in these situations. How good men become evil as well. That's a major story of it. One of the baddies of the Reich. He starts off as an American soldier and just kind of fucking just through following orders ends up becoming king of the Nazis in America. And he's like, fuck. How did this happen?
Yeah.
You know?
How did I get here?
So,
yeah, and so you hated Sandman. Yes, that's interesting.
no, I didn't hate Sandman. I just thought it was. We were talking about last week. Oh, I've not been talking to you about it.
Yeah, I have no idea anymore. Yeah.
I couldn't really. I don't know what it was. The problem with Dream, I just couldn't really connect enough with him. I just thought he was a bit too. Oh, here's the goth kid. Oh, I'm so sad. I lost my son. Okay, man. 200 years. Come on, it's nothing to you. It's a blink. Get over it.
It's not even 200 years. It's 100 years. It's
shit, man.
Less than 100 years.
Less than 100 years. You know? But there's some great episodes in it. The cafe scene, the restaurant episode. Oh, jeez, that's amazing.
Yeah.
The one where he meets the guy every 100 years.
That's brilliant. Yeah, and the first half, the debt one where you're following debt round on her day. It's horrifying in places, though. In fairness.
But it's. I really like that story from the comic as well. I thought that was really cool.
The 100-year one seems to be the one that stands out for most people, isn't it? Like it's one that it's one issue, isn't it? That originally, yeah. It's even in the trade paperbacks because I know there's a collection of short stories, one in the middle of it, isn't there? That they do all the single issue stuff.
That's right. Yeah. I wonder will they do that? No, they probably won't actually. I really like that part of one of the books where they went into the Shakespeare tangent.
Oh, they have to do that. Come on, that has to be in it.
But he's already met Shakespeare in it now, so
but it's the Seasons of Mist. Isn't that that whole storyline? Yeah, it's where he meets the Fae and all that. No, that has to be in it.
Yeah. He's like, here, Will, I need a favour. You're going to make three brilliant ones. You're going to make 3 brilliant ones, 3 crap ones, and then 3 fucking nuts ones. Yeah. All right, I need you to do the nuts ones.
What I really appreciated was that no one seems to be quite sure how to pronounce Johanna's second name. Is it Constantine? Constantine, because each of them seem to say it differently, and Dream himself does it pronounces it differently at least 3 different times.
Does he? Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that. I thought that was good.
I'd say Constantine. What would you say?
Well, I would when I read it, it's John Constantine, but it's Constantine is how Alan Moore wrote it.
I don't remember, but in the books, it's the same Constantine, isn't it? It's a man.
Yeah, it is. But some people are saying it's because Johanna Constantine isn't in Sandman. I'm pretty sure. It's been a long time.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a fella.
Yeah. But that they don't have the rights to John Constantine at the minute. So they had to change something.
That's why.
Rather than just to change just for the sake of... Joanna Constantine is a character in the DC universe, though. So
okay.
But I liked her in it as well. But I mean, I would have preferred John Constantine because it's John Constantine, whatever. I still have a couple episodes going. I'm kind of not rushing through it. But I
was saying to you, my problem with it, and someone else did right. I saw someone else mention it as well. Is that like I think when I was reading it, I just identified Dream as being far more witty. I just thought he was more sarcastic, and you were like, "No, I didn't get that."
No,
I don't think. I don't think a lot of people
dude like that. You don't like. That's what I got. Yeah.
See, I don't think a lot of people did get what I saw at all. Which I mean, obviously, I'm very wrong because Neil Gaiman is.
Well, no. Well, I mean, like people talk about Grant Morrison putting himself into his comics. I mean, and when you watch this, you go, "Oh, hold on, this is exactly what Neil Gaiman did." Dream is Neil, Gaiman's. Higher self or whatever he wants to be. He doesn't exactly talk like him, but he certainly dresses like him and has the hair and all of that type of thing.
But that's also me projecting me into it because I'm going, this fella's being sarcastic with the Crow, or he's being sarcastic with someone. Because that's just what I'd be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't agree that you got it wrong. I think that is an all right take on it. Like, I mean, I think that's fine. Yeah. And that's the problem with, and it happens, I suspect, more with books than it does with comics, because you have an extra layer of, well, I didn't think he looked like that, which you can get with books that you're just not getting with comics, But, it's there's so many, like, if you're reading something deadpan and that's the type of thing, and then you see someone else reads it and go, oh no, he's just an ass. And you go, all right, no, I wasn't getting that. Or whatever. But yeah, he's such an emo. Jesus Christ, what an emo. Yeah.
I like Lucifer in it. I think she's kick-ass. Game of Thrones actress. I don't remember her name.
Much better than the TV show version of Lucifer, yeah.
Right. But, I didn't even.
No, I think he solves crimes. I just like, no, it's a procedural crime. I was like, no, thanks, you're okay, you're fine. I'll not watch that. But I know people who love it. I think Jason likes it. Logan likes it. I think so.
Mm-hmm. Sure, look, that's what kind of like was bothering me. It was like, everyone loves this. Yeah. What's going on here? Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? It's not like.
Well, I think the kind of the best or the most frequent reaction was, okay, it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. I kind of enjoyed it, but it's not Sandman. But still, no one seemed to really hate it, outright hate it. Although, well, that's gone by the Discord, the Adventures Movie Discord. That's literally the only reviews I've read. People I know talking about their experiences. But hopefully get the second season. I assume it will. The third season seems to be the harder one to get because the rules change. That you have to, not that because everyone has to be in a union, but you have to put certain financial things have to be put in place that that you don't for the first two seasons. That by season 3 you have to be in place, like pensions or something. I don't know what it is, but so it's a huge step up in money just on paying people rather than the production costs going up. So that's why Netflix goes nope. Nope.
Funny because the kind of the pacing of it would suggest there'd be a 3 anyway.
Yeah, I think there's 3 audiobooks. I think that's probably the same kind of that had the same chat about what ways it's going to be done. But I mean, it's Netflix. I mean, Netflix has cancelled things the day it comes out. So I mean, who knows what they're going to do? Like, so If anyone, just come back to Westworld for a second. If anyone has kind of let go of Westworld, it's I think this is the best season so far. The first season is the best season, really, in fairness. But it's as good as the first season, and it's definitely, if you approach it from any kind of a Gnostic awakening or spirituality angle, or rather than it being, I don't even know what time it's set in, 3,000 years in the future. Who knows what it is? I don't think it's ever actually said what the actual time is, but it's certainly about now, absolutely about now, and what's going to happen next. But really good.
Yeah, it's this. It's very interesting questions of what is when does consciousness kick in? Yeah. And also like fuck, do we even know we're alive?
You kind of bounce between in watching TV show where you go, oh, we're the humans, and you go, oh no, we're the robots or whatever they are, the hosts, and you go, oh no, we're them, and then it switches again. You go, oh no, hold on, I don't like any of this. I don't know where I am. Who am I meant to associate myself with this?
Yeah. There's a lot of timeline jumping as well, so it's kind of like, it's it's like a really, really expensive episode of Rick and Morty with less belching, Bernard as well. It's just talking about people calling different names. Bernard is also called Bernard by certain people, which I really like. Yeah, the Tandy, what's her name? Tandy something.
Yeah,
is that her name?
Tandy
Newton, she calls him Bernard. Yeah, and she's kick-ass, man. She's an old one.
Yeah.
She's just going around.
She's not 80 already. She's
older than me.
Yeah.
I was looking at Grant Morrison. Is Grant Morrison the same age as my ma? That's mental.
Mid-60s, isn't he? Grant Morrison has to be. Yeah.
He was born in 1960. Whatever it is, that's 62. Yeah. I think he's already gone 62. So, I was looking up that book. Luda. You call Luda?
Yeah. It's not until September, I don't think. Vanessa bought it, pre-ordered it for me for my birthday, so it should arrive 3 weeks after everyone else gets it.
Oh, it's not out. I thought the hardback was out. Okay, it's not out then. Yeah. Okay.
Well, unless it's the Amazon doing the trick. Anytime I've pre-ordered anything, I always get it after everyone who buys it the day it comes out.
So. Oh no, maybe it's not. Maybe I just looked it up and I just thought it was the hard book, and I said, okay, I'll wait. Be interesting.
Yeah, well, it's like Grant Morrison, like, he's hit or miss with me, and I'm more interested. I would sit down and listen to an audiobook of him talking about his new book more. I'd be excited about that than possibly the actual book, you know? Like him talking about Batman on, Clark's dude, what's his name?
Jane Silent Bob.
Yeah, that
Silent Bob. Silent Bob. Huh?
Yeah. Is much better than the books he's talking about. Like, even though Dark Knight Returns is brilliant, but like just seeing it through his lens is just like, oh my God, that's a much better book than I was reading. You know, really good. I find that, and the documentary I forced you to watch in the early days. But you liked it, didn't you? The Talking About Gods.
Oh God, yeah. I watched a couple on him now. Yeah, he's a cool dude. Yeah. Really like him, you know. Yeah. Anyone who's friends with Frankie Boyle has to be a cool dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
of course.
And the other way, and anyone who has the patience to be a friend with Frankie Boyle must be fairly sound.
Yeah. Of course, he's not non-binary these days, but I think Dude covers that, doesn't it?
Okay. I don't know what that means, but okay, go for it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I can't. There's an interesting one about saying dude. You know, where you call everyone dude or whatever. Because like, would you shift to dude? Oh, hold on. Maybe there is a gender to dude in certain circumstances. You know, would you have sex with a dude? Dude, it's hard to know. But I know women who call each other dude as well. So it's a strange word. I think it's one of those words that context matters. Like that, what you're doing. Would you have sex with a dude?
Just stick with names. Names get you out of jail a lot faster.
Yeah, talking the other day to someone, and we were talking about how the fact that, you know, what you do when you don't know someone's name or whatever, and everyone kind of seems to have a word that they use, you know, oh, right, boss, or, you know, chief, or whatever. And I'm just wondering, what's yours? Do you have one? When you're like, oh, right, man, see you later, man. I think man is my one. But
man, yeah. Would have been man or when I was in the pubs. Yeah, no, you could have fun when it was the pubs. Horsebox. Oi, horse box.
Horse.
I like horsebox. Horse was his fucking mad one. So oh God, I don't know if it was a girl. I think I used to say miss.
Excuse me, there's a problem because you see an awful lot of people say pet, and some women really dislike that. Really dislike it. Yeah. But particularly barman, I hear saying pet, and you can kind of go, no, you know. Yeah, my mum would say it to you if the barman called her pet, go, excuse me.
Or hey, you good looking. They used to say that to a munter, and you'd be grand like. So,
yeah.
We were in the pub one evening, and what happened? One of the old fellas was serving this. She was very modelly looking, Dublin 4, prim, proper.
Hino.
Very nice. And no, girls don't drink pints. A glass of Pinot.
Oh, right, excuse me.
Pinot Noir. Or what was the other one they used to drink that got trendy there in Dublin a few years ago? I don't remember the name of it. Anyway, it's one of those white wines. Anyway, and
Sauvignon Blanc. The Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh God, no! That's for the commoners, Tommy. I worked in Dublin 4, Tommy.
All right, okay.
Now. And he got her something wrong. He gave her red instead of her white, and she fucking lost the fucking rag or something. She said, "Do you know who I am?" kind of thing. And he said, "Just a moment." He walked over to the PA system. He goes, "Is this on? Hello? Excuse me, everyone. Hello. Yeah, me. I'm Vinny. Middle pub here. Hello, barman. There's a lady here. Can you all see her? Blonde, red top. She doesn't know who she is. Can someone help her out?"
Hello?
What happened there?
Literally no idea. My Zoom shut down. Unless Zoom... Are we recording? Yes. Unless Zoom...
It's still recording.
Decided that it was going to update in the middle of Spud's story. So it's not that great of a story. I'm just going to update something about his life when he was in a pub. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, we'll just carry on. If that didn't make the recording, and people will never know the end of the story.
Yeah, no. I by the time you said, "Oh no, the internet's dead," it was still recording. So, if by some chance the story isn't there, please leave a comment below what you think the end of that story was.
Wait, did I tell you that years ago I lived above the Jameson brewery, distillery? It's not a brewery in Dublin, and because it's a distillery, they have a brewery pub. So all their drink was dirt cheap, like. And we were students. We were living 3 or 4 floors above him. He was our local, obviously, because 2.50 or something a pint, or maybe even less. But there was an old school barman working in there, proper old school. Had the towel on his
nice.
shoulder kind of thing. He'd go around and he'd always be looking busy. They do nothing really, but always looking busy, you know. So he told us, we came down for pints one evening, and he told us, "Oh Jesus, there's a lot of Germans in here today." And we're like, "Oh, what's wrong with Germans?" "Oh, I'm up to me eyes with people. There's food and drink going everywhere, and I'm on me fucking own." And then this busload of 15 Germans come in. Yeah, we'll all have Irish coffee, please. And I got 15 Irish coffees. Fuck's sake.
Oh, no.
So, what he done was, right, he took the towel off and he fucked down like going, "Who told you about Irish coffees?" What do you mean? What is wrong? We just wanted the Irish coffee. Right, hold on. He goes up and he gets a pen and a piece of paper. "I need your name, I need your address, and I need the name and address of the person who told you about Irish coffees." And the poor German, like, what is that? "Irish coffees have been illegal here for 25 years.
Oh,
Did you not know that?"
Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh, that's brilliant. Legend.
Make
Did he throw the bed, or did he actually make them in the
He
end?
didn't make him. I'd say he gave them whatever pints or whatever.
Nice. One of my friends, maybe this is an old one that you might do as well. Barman is in Dublin as well, and he was saying that the thing he used to do to tourists coming in is he'd say that there's no Wednesdays in Ireland, and that, you know, that's what most people find hard about acclimatising themselves to Ireland, is the lack of Wednesdays. It goes Tuesday to Thursday. He says he convinced a lot of people.
Do you remember Holy Hour in the pubs?
No.
Do you remember that growing up? No.
On a Sunday where you had to shut the pub for 2 hours, that thing.
Sunday, yeah, the pub had to close for 2 hours so people could go to mass. But people would be full of drink by then. They had to close between, was it 12 and 2, I think?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so lads would come in, get hammered on 3 or 4 pints in the morning, because you would, it's first thing in the morning. They come off the mass then and sing their heads off and come back to the pub.
Who's going to mass at 12, between 12 and 2? It's like 10 o'clock mass or 9 o'clock mass. It's not like the standard. I suppose who is going? Alcoholics are going between 12 and 2. That's who's going. Yeah. Yeah, but now we can drink anytime we want. Good Friday, Easter, well, not Christmas Day. Strangely,
Have they changed opening hours in Ireland after COVID?
You can open on Good Friday now. That was the big one. That was the big day.
No, but I mean, can you go longer? Because pubs have to close half 11 in Ireland, don't they?
Yeah, they're talking about changing all that to have, you know, to stop this whole kind of binge thing of like going out at 10 o'clock, having 74 pints before half 12.
Before closing time.
Yeah. That the, you know, I think in Spain, I may be wrong, because someone was talking to us, I was half reading it, that you can open for 12 hours, but any 12 hours you want.
Yeah. A lot of places do that.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure what the licenses are here, but there's some funny pubs in my town, like they'll open at 8 in the morning. Rough crowd. And but like they're closed at like 3-4 in the afternoon. But then there's other pubs they'll open in the evening and they'll stay open until 12 or 2 o'clock in the morning, kind of thing, you know. Yeah,
we've a pub in town and it's pretty you know, it's one of the more popular ones, whatever, and he at the weekend now just shuts at 9 o'clock because he's all he says, you know, I've been here all day, it's day trade, I've done it, I've made my money, it's grand, you know. So he's kind of put his thing down more, he's a day pub, you know, and it's working, right. So people are happy enough, you know, go out at whatever, go to bed earlier, come home earlier. Like, I kind of like that out. Go out, get hammered, home by 9 o'clock. Nice.
Oh, yeah. You know, bed grand. By a respectable time. Yeah, it's a good idea, like.
Yeah.
You know.
That's just not Irish. That's what? No?
Yeah.
Anyway, talking about Irish, we can go on to our Irish lessons.
Let's do it.
I have some good ones this week. Rather than kind of have sentences and structure and stuff, I just want to build up a vocabulary. So I have some sort of occult-based vocabulary that we can learn this week. Magic itself is draíocht. It's one form of it. There's it's kind of draíocht, and magician is Draoi. They're saying is where druid comes from, but there could be a case of that Draoi and draíocht have actually come the other way, where the druid word came. They're not really sure. It's one of those kind of interesting ones. But I really like Draoi. It's you know, people, what do you describe yourself as? You could say Draoi. But it kind of sounds like you're saying something from Dungeons and Dragons too as well. So you're like, oh, I'm in you know, level 9 elf. So maybe, maybe not, maybe don't. But Draoi, Draoi, draíocht. Occult is asarlaíocht, which is comes from the word for astrology, but it has its own meaning. And it also means dark magic, enchantment, necromancy, occultism, sorcery, voodoo, witchcraft, wizardry, all of that stuff all that stuff is asarlaíocht. So then I was kind of looking into other things. So the awakening, and I mean awakening, it literally means awakening in the normal sense of the word, but it's interesting. It's múscailt, but it also means conjuring. So I mean there is a thing that's kind of yeah. So AGMU fada. That's the line over the thing for people. SCAILT. I could pronounce it before the show. Múscailte. Awakening. And I am awakened is Tommie múscailt. But there's also dúisithe. But in this it's Enlightened would be soilsithe, which means sunlight or illuminated.
That's a nice one.
Yeah. And meditation is machnamh, which is a real Irish word, isn't it? Machnamh. I'm away off the machnamh. All right. 20 minutes of machnamh a day.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Fit no made machnamh.
Yeah, so I thought that one, the awakening one was interesting. It also means to rouse, like in a kind of, and there's, it's the conjuring thing I thought was very interesting. How would you pronounce that then? MU for the S. Write it down.
Yeah. MU for the S.
CAILT. Múscailte. CAILT.
DAILT.
No D's. A C. MU for the S. CAILT.
Múscailte.
Yeah.
Múscailte.
So there you go.
A. Múscailte. Okay.
And so that's the build up your occult vocabulary. I'm running out of interesting Irish facts, but there's one I always kind of liked. And the fact that one of the words for Dublin, or where it gets its name from, is this idea of Dublin, which is like a black lake or a black pool or a cesspit.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, all of these kind of things. A mire. So, but it's not that it was originally called Dublin and it was anglicised, as most of our names are, into Dublin, because that's where that predates the English invasion, seemingly, that Dublin turned into Dublin. So the Irish, what we have for Dublin is Baile Átha Cliath. But the Gaelic word Dublin, meaning a black pool or mire, describes an ancient natural treacle lake. Is that like a really sugary lake? Located within the confines of Dublin Zoo in the Phoenix Park. The merging of these two words into Dublin clearly occurred before the practices of anglicising names based on their English meaning. The fair city might have been known as Blackpool or Black Lake or Black Mire. I like Black Mire, but that sounds like Black Mire. That's a 6-part BBC programme about a murder in the country. Yeah, murder at Black Mire.
Sounds like who are those dodgy mercenaries in America? Blackwater.
Blackwater, yeah. The Black and Tans here. It's the Black Mires. It's the secret sect of the Black and Tans.
Dublin, yeah. Dublin means Blackpool, Black Lake, Black Water, or anything. It's the same translation as where the Vikings got the name for where I'm from, Wexford. So forward, like a ford, a ford, a lake. Wexford was the same. It was a dark or a black pool. So Dublin and Wexford have the same kind of weird name from the Vikings.
Well, there you go. Yeah, so Dublin is where Dublin came from, and then it was turned into Baile Átha Cliath. So being our capital is not actually one of the words that it is. It's most one of the, if you go, that's obviously Dublin turned into anglicised. No. Yeah. We can't blame that one. Plenty of other ones, but not that one. You any facts, or have you... Are you like me? You're running out of them.
The first potato ever planted in Ireland was done by an Englishman, Walter Raleigh.
Oh yeah, sure. He brought it over from South America, didn't he?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. And I need to look it up. I think there's something about, wasn't Limerick the first capital of Ireland?
Okay.
I don't know if it was. Because the Vikings had their capital. That was Dublin. But then there was the natives one as well. Would have been either Cork or Limerick, and I can't. Someone told me it was Limerick, and they were 100% sure on it. And now I don't know. Limerick's a nice place.
Yeah. Yeah, I did many a gig in Limerick. Like it has a name for being a violent place, and it certainly is in places. But I'd so Dundalk, where I'm from, it's excessively violent in places. But the places I were in Limerick were quite cool, and there were the Dolan's Warehouse. Were you ever in that? That was the big venue.
Yeah. Dolan's. Yeah.
Great venue. Many a great
good gig place. Yeah. Stuff.
Yeah. Right, so that's Irish lessons, Irish facts. If you have any Irish facts, please put them in the comments below. Yeah, and if you have any words that you would like me to look up at Google what they are in Irish rather than do it yourself, there is absolutely no problem. Just let me know.
Do you remember where our nipple piercing stories are to help out?
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
help her out.
I'm going to say it's in the first 1/3. That's the number of the podcasts, because I know exactly when it will be. I know exactly the episode as well.
Here we go.
It's the episode where you are in getting your tests and you meet the God man with the Bible, the Golden Bible, because you had to remove it to do one of the tests.
Ah, okay.
And that's why we brought it up. That's how we. So whatever that one is. So I was wrong. It's probably it's later than the first.
So there you are, Catherine. Have a look for that episode.
Whatever episode that is.
Spud's transmission episode.
I'll try and
not called that.
No, it's probably called something about a documentary that is absolutely unrelated that we talked about briefly later in the show. I'll try and find it and dig it out and put it in the show notes. Yeah. It was handy.
So how's your sleep paralysis going?
Yeah, I haven't mentioned it. Well, I've mentioned it a couple of times over the time about the different kind of things that people coming into my room, but it got really bad there recently. The Tuesday of last week, isn't that the day before we did the Scariest Experience? The Ahos. And I had been building up over the last while to explain it properly, and Spud, just pretend like you've never heard any of this before.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh, that really? and then they do, so I can put that as the thumbnail. Nice. So over. There is this kind of notion, and it's a form of sleep paralysis, I assume, although I don't get paralysed. I've only had sleep paralysis once in my life, and I was quite young, and I thought I was going to fall off the bed, but I couldn't move, and it was quite scary, but, I didn't fall off the bed, and I could eventually move again. So the actual sleep paralysis part of it, where there's, like the old hag syndrome, where someone really creepy comes in and you're terrified and you can't move and they sit on you or whatever it is, the old hag sits on your chest or your legs or pushes your head into the pillow. You have the idea of the Hat Man, which we talked about before when we watched the Hat Man documentary, and there's another documentary called The Nightmare, which is about the same kind of stuff. So it all comes under the umbrella, I suppose, of sleep paralysis. And there's this other notion of felt presence, which is the idea that you feel a presence, that there's another presence. But with the felt presence kind of diagnosis, it can be positive or negative. And usually actually positive when you have the thing of the third man syndrome, which was first described, I didn't realise, by Ernest Shackleton, which is pretty cool. When he was out in his exploration, he says that often at times it felt like there was 4 of us, not 3 of us. And
Tom Crean had it as well. The other guy, with him, he had it too. Yeah.
So and there's this notion of the third man. There's a book about it. I can't remember who wrote it, but and the famous kind of story is these people who got lost in Everest, or I assume it's Everest, some mountain or whatever, and they didn't know what to do, and this presence came and took them to the place, and they got rescued, and at the end they were like going. Because it was all foggy, and they had the sense of someone there, but they also knew there wasn't someone there. But it rescued him, and then as soon as once seemingly Shackleton said it, a lot of people came forward with a different kind of
Right.
But after this book came out, then it was like a lot of people have said it. So yeah, in that sense, it's usually a good thing that happens. And there seems to be something about the way it's described that if it's on your left-hand side, it's usually a good presence. If it's on your right-hand side, it's some sort of malevolent, evil presence or some sort of menacing presence. But so that's all to say that I don't get the sleep paralysis, but I definitely get the felt presence. And this directionality thing doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any difference to me, because if I'm in my own bedroom, it's at the door, which is to my left, and if I happen to be in my son's, the door is to the right. And so it seems to be more to do with boundary stuff with me than it is to do with, the direction.
Are they the same area then in the hallway?
It's
like is his bedroom off of yours?
Right. You the room you stayed in is just top of the stairs, so you know that.
Yeah.
Well, so his bedroom is in the corridor and it's past the bathroom that you would have used.
Right.
Mine's the other end, so it's in the other.
I should do that. Okay, so it's not like there's something in like that one corner of the.
It could be the corridor though. That's the thing. If they're out in the corridor, they'd be doing in. But the issue as well, I suppose, is that this is not the only place I've ever felt it. So it's not just. And there's houses where I've spent. There's one particular flat that I spent the longest in. It never happened in it ever. But the previous one, it definitely happened in. It's something possibly to do with living on my own. But I did live on my own for a long while in that flat too. The very first time it ever happened to me, I was in my nana's house. She died when I was 12, so it's before I'm 12. And for some reason I'm in. It's my cousin's room. He used to live with it, but he was off at college or whatever. And so I was in his room and it was cool. Like he'd loads of comics, graphic novels, and he was a cool dude. He drew comics, big influence on me. But for some reason, it felt like there was someone outside looking in at me. And it was just like, it was really, really that sense of there's someone there. Couldn't see it. There was no shadows. There was no nothing, but it was that sense. And it, menacing. It was very scary. And I remember being really terrified, but also there was a part of my brain going, this is stupid. Why are you having this reaction? There's clearly nothing there, but it was, I ended up, I think I had to go in and sleep with my sister or something like that. Like it was weird. Like, take that line out of context. But sleep in the same room as where my sister was sleeping, just because I got very scared. But it was also if that feeling of this is, why are you having this reaction? There's two kind of things going on. But then later, it used to happen to myself and my sister as well during the day. So it's not just the nighttime, but it would possibly be evening. But it has happened during the day, so it's not just the dark thing, not just being scared of the dark. Although that definitely does seem to be an element of it, because it's putting a light on seems to have some change to it. But if we were talking about ghosts or scary things or any of this kind of, even meditation or spirituality or any of this kind of thing, the atmosphere in the room would change. It would feel like someone was looking at us. That menacing kind of thing, to the point that we labelled it, we called it that place. And one of the very first podcasts I did was talking about this actually. And we used to say, oh, I'm in that place, are you in that place? And she'd go, yeah. And it got really bad one night, and we were like, I don't know, maybe 16, 17, something like that. She's a year older than me. That we had to leave the house, like we had to get out. That was it was just like, oh, I can't. And what we actually did, we went for a walk and we ended up outside the police station. Because right, grand, this has to be the Garda station. But in Dundalk, there's a nice little kind of garden area in front of it, so it's not just that we're standing outside the Garda barracks going, oh, there's a ghost in the house.
There's a ghost in my house.
Yeah. But I was talking to my mum about this recently, and she was saying that she has had mad experiences, and it's not my place to tell all these stories, but there's one story about it that's relevant to the sleep paralysis. She was in London with her mother, and she was quite young, 7, 8, 9, something like that. And they were she was visiting her sister, and they were in bed together. And my mum said she started feeling there was someone in the room, and then at the the proper old hag thing, sitting on their chest, lying down, the whole thing. And then she said it to my mother, and the mother says, "Yeah, I can feel that too."
Oh, fuck!
I was just like, "Oh no," And then she was kind of thinking, well, maybe she just said that to try and comfort her, because That's not how you comfort a child at all. You say, don't be silly, go on. But she says no. And anyway, the next day she was telling the sister about it, and you could tell that it was, she also had the experience, you know, that was describing it in the same way. But she said by saying it out loud, that seemed to have got rid of it. But she has had kind of things. She woke up one night and there was a coffin in the room. And and it wasn't one of those things where she was saying like, and then you suddenly realise it's a clothesline or something, or your clothes horse or something. No, it just disappeared, you know. But she's like, but what does that mean? Like, there was nothing happened. Like, no one died. There wasn't a message. It wasn't, you know, there was no.
Well, someone probably died. Oh
yeah, well, but no, someone definitely died. A number of people died at that instant, but not related. So yeah, so there seems to be, for me looking into it, there has to be this kind of thing that there can be a kind of a sleep paralysis. Definitely can be generational. If your parents had it, or you know, people have it, there's a higher chance you're going to have it. It's also a sign, an early sign of Parkinson's and what's that thing where people, I can't think of it, where people start having epilepsy. It can be the thing, but it's that usually is that you're in your mid-40s and you start having it. That can be a sign of that. If you've had it the whole way long, it's not really. Same as that thing of doom. If you get a sense of doom, that something bad's going to happen, that can be a sign that you're going to have a stroke or a heart attack very soon. But like within a week or something. Not like, you know, like the way you can get that aura from an epileptic fit. Well, I don't. I've read that that's what people know, or it's about to happen. There's a sense. They get a taste, something like that. So it seems to be connected to something like that your body is having a reaction to going, that artery's getting a bit blocked.
Yeah, get ready, man. Get ready. Get ready.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's been happening. It happened years ago. I've talked about this before when I was kind of doing evocations to Lucifer, because I was being, you know, what's the worst thing you can do? Let's try that and see if I can get something. And that really amped up the thing of around 3 o'clock in the night, that feeling of someone in your room looking at you. And not nice, and not, you know, not a gentle spirit with a message for you. But, you know, sleep tight. It's like, I'm looking at you. So anyway, the worst, and it's the worst one I've ever had, and it's like so bad. And it's like someone telling you the nightmare where you just go, that doesn't sound bad. But it's just, you have to accept that it was terrifying. Nothing happens. Spoiler, nothing happens. But it's terrifying. So anyway, I wake up and it's almost as if I'm mid-conversation, or I've had this conversation before, or thing, and I turn around to Vanessa and I go, can you not hear those chimes? With the kind of implication, I've been hearing chimes an awful lot, you know, and we've talked about this. Can you, and it's gone again, can you actually not hear them? And she goes, I can hear them. But she's confused as well. And then the wee man wakes up and she goes, he must have heard them too. And I was going, right, that's strange. But the next day she's going, I don't really know what I was talking about at all. You know, she says, I don't know if I heard chimes. I don't know. You know, the whole thing was very confusing for her as well. But really weird that he woke up at the same time as if something had happened, you know, like there was like an alarm went off. But again, he wakes up a lot during the night. He might have been, you know, I might have said it louder than I think I said it, all those things I might, but it was very, very strange. So she goes into his room and just, you know, when you have a nightmare and you wake up and you're panicked and everything's just strange and it's like your adrenaline's up and, you know, your shadows are weird, it's like that, a really heightened sense of that, but that someone is in the room or someone is at the door, really menacing, really terrifying, really proper. This is not a good thing. This is someone that means you fucking harm, or, you know, not on your side, looking at you. And the sense is that's not even that's the scary, but the sense is that something is about to happen that is going to absolutely terrify me, and I am not going to be able to cope with it. Like, as if someone is going to come in through the door, or that, you know, like there's slowly someone's going to raise up from the bottom of your bed, or I look at the window and there'll be eyes, or, you know, there'll be something just not right that's going to just do something. But again, it's just going to scare you. It's not that you're scared that it's going to come up and choke you or stab you or take you away. It's just that the sight of this, whatever's about to happen, the sight of it is the thing that I'm not going to be able to cope with. This is just too much. This is, I've never been. So I get up usually when this has happened and if I'm in the room on my own, I'll start trying to talk to it. Go, what do you want? Like, what's the crack here? What's going on? Or I'll throw some pentagrams at it. I'll do the symbol of my HGA. Send it love. All that, all those classical things that you're told. So I was trying that, and it's like, oh, no, none of that's doing anything, man. So I can't underestimate how scared I am. I've never been more scared in my life. In regards to a terrifying thing, like I'm sure I've been scared of, that day when me and you died in the car crash. Remember that day?
Yeah.
I've been scared in that way, like, that in that moment, but like not in a kind of magic-y, occult, woo-woo, something coming, like this is the most.
I get you.
So I get up and I put on the light. And usually when you put on the light, that's the end of it, because then you go, nothing. And it's like, oh no, it's still the exact same thing. So I put on all the lights and just lying there. And it's hours, 2 hours at least of that. Just expecting something to have, like, going to be touched, or, you're lying on your side, it's going to come up beside you, or if you're, because it's double bed and you're facing in the other way, and because Vanessa's gone, her side of the bed is empty, and if you open your eyes, there's going to be someone there looking at you. That's just horrible. And then it just, not very, like, over, I'd say about 10 minutes, then dissipated and just went. Still pitch black outside, it's the middle of the night, so it's not that it got light or anything like that. And I was able to turn off the light in the bedroom, kept the ensuite light on just in case. And so you remember me next morning, we were going to do the scry, and I was like, oh man, that was awful. And I was going, I don't know if I should be doing any of this crap anymore, because I don't want that to happen. But didn't happen since. That was the last. Now, there was a thunderstorm here the other night, and that was kind of weird. There was that kind of sense of, something is coming in. There was something coming in. It was a thunderstorm. It was quite weird. It was but it had a kind of tinge to the quality of it. But I don't like it. I wasn't into it. And it was kind of, I was looking it up, nice. And it was like, you Google it or DuckDuckGo or whatever. What a stupid name. They should change that name. And the first one would be like a psychologist going, it's all in your head, it's all, stress, anxiety, blah blah blah. The second was, you have to find Jesus, you need to find Jesus. The third one would be it's a demon. It's like, it's part of me, like, in one sense, it seemed like that's probably something to do with stress, anxiety, lack of sleep, all of that. It's certainly a factor. But then when you start reading into it and people's stories, and it's like two people feeling it at the same time, and certain, and certainly the people who see things, that must be just awful. Actually see the old hag, actually see the hat man, can't move. There's a guy coming, the shadow people stuff. Even though I can't see it, it feels like a shadow person. That's what it feels like. But I've never seen it. Rather than a hat man or an old hag, and it feels male, alien. There's definitely an alien presence to it as well. But I don't know. So many people have it that it's not nothing. But it also, that would seem, the more people that have it, that it's a psychological thing rather than actual demon. But this is what I deal in and spend time with, that you kind of go, I don't want to dismiss it either, but like, I don't know. And because you were saying, like, well, why not just banish it? I goes, well, like, what if it, angels come and terrify you, and it's often good news for you.
Like it could be a good thing, because like my experiences with it.
Yeah, well, just recount them for the listeners.
So the first time it ever happened to me, I wasn't living here. I was living up in the flat up in the old city, and luckily enough, I used to listen to that annoying podcast. What's it called? Stuff You Should Know, with those two lads, and and the format. Two people have a podcast where they talk about something interesting, and then they run out of interesting things to talk about, so they just talk about their lives. Do you know that kind of stuff? And I got really bored with it, so I stopped listening.
Oh, God.
Meta shit here, Spud, and layers of Inception here, spinning top. It happened 23 years ago, Jesse Pinkman. So I knew what this thing was, right? So I woke up and it was broad daylight because the sun in the summertime rises fucking 4:30 in the morning here. But I woke up and I was just stuck to the bed. And at first I panicked and went, oh, fuck, what the fuck? I'm dead. What is this? Total panic. And then something clicked and I went, oh no, actually, I know what this is. This is sleep paralysis from their podcast. Okay, shut the fuck up, Spud. Relax. Just relax. And it took ages to go back to sleep, but I eventually did nod off because it was bright. You know, we had fuck all. Our curtains were crap and everything. Anyway, but then a couple of years ago here, I had the hag thing and freaked me out the first couple of nights.
Did you actually see it, or was it just something's on my chest? What? Or
no, there wasn't and she wasn't on. So I sleep on the far left of the bed. She's closer to the door.
The far left? The very far left?
Yeah, very far left. The socialist. I'm on the left side. It was the far left.
The socialist side of the bed. So.
We got lucky, man. It's a fucking massive bed. They left it here when they moved out. It's fucking huge. We get lost in it sometimes. And because we're short people. And so I'm on the left and it's closest to the gable wall kind of thing, and she's closest to the door, right? And I always tend to sleep on my side to stop it's meant to be better for the sleep thing I have. And I woke up and I actually woke up on my back and I went, and I looked over for the corner of my eye, and I would think about it now. I suppose I couldn't move any of the rest of my body, but I could look over there and there was something, and it reminded me of the hermit from the Led Zeppelin 4. That kind of look, that hunched over hood,
like the hermit card, essentially, like
But it wasn't a man, you know, it's a woman. And it was this kind of scary, haggy, and I went, what the fuck is this shit? What the fuck is Tommy Kelly after getting me into all this fucking woo shit for? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Maybe she's had to be moved to your house because I annoyed her. But, and it happened, I don't know, 2-3 nights, I suppose. And then I went, you know what? No, this isn't a bad thing, because I was kind of learning about the angels and the HDA and all that kind of stuff at the time. And I went, no, you're looking at this fucking wrong, man, because, you know, this is when I was more chaos magic-y than I am now. It's kind of like your choice of, you have a choice to believe what something is, and that'll manifest as it kind of thing, you know? So it's like, and this is even before, like, that Duncan podcast about where he should have got the hand job off the nun.
Yeah.
To send love and kindness to a baddie ghost if it's around you, you know, because that's what they want, kind of thing. Their issue isn't with you, so you just say, yeah, look, man, I got compassion for you. I'm sorry, but and I'll help you if I can. But I'm not. I didn't know any of this at the time. I was just like, there's this weird fucking woman in my room. What the fuck, haggy, witchy thing. But then anyway, so it happened again, and I thought, no, I have to think about this the other way. I was like, no, this is what she is. This is the angel. This is the HCA. This is something else, and that completely changed it for me. So it did. I was lucky. I don't know. Like I'm like the dread and all that you're going through isn't the same as what I went through. At first, it was like freaked me out, but I went, no, actually, if I just borrow from this thing that I'm trying to fucking learn about and put it onto her, then it just turned into something more positive. And then when she did show up subsequently, it was she's just having a look. She just wants to see if I'm all right, kind of thing. You know? Then I stopped. You know?
You see, that's always in the back of my mind too, as well. You know, that's why I go like, what do you want here, right? You know, because I mean, if you're going to have an interaction with the numinous, it is going to be weird and it is going to be scary, and you know, even the positive stuff for the most part. Sometimes positive stuff is just positive and lovely, and sometimes not. Sometimes it can be terrifying. As you know, as we were saying about the angels thing, they're terrifying things. You know, I mean, but like they're also good things. But there's also definitely a sense of that there is a thing that needs to be looked at for me with regards trauma around it. In that it happened once when I to borrow Duncan's term, when I had a really strong coffee one night, and and it was that thing was there, and it was very close, but it was the closest it was ever. It was like it was right behind me on my just here. For people on the radio, I'm motioning here, and it was almost as if I was seeing myself out of the body. It was terrifying, quite terrifying. But and I was going around turning lights off, and it was like it's a really oppressive thing behind me. But I'm accentuated obviously by the strong coffee. But I think rather than that was an experience, I think whatever it is that's happening got triggered and amplified by said coffee, rather than it was just
strong coffee.
The coffee experience. But what I kind of subsequently, when I started looking at it and kind of going, well, I'll have a bit of a bindy look at this. Didn't really get too far. But when I was quite young, there was a fire. I don't know if I've ever told a story on. Maybe I have. If I have, I'm sorry. But there was a fire lit. When you grow up in kind of housing estates in Ireland, there's always part of the housing estate that's not fully finished, so there's bits of it that's a bit
there's always this underlying threat of random violence.
Yeah, but there'll be like a bit of a wasteland that you know will have a dumper that hasn't worked in 20 years, and
it's where the cool kids hang out. When you're a kid, these are where the cool kids hang out, and then when you get older, you're like, oh god, they were awful. Those
small galvanised shed, something. It's just everyone in Ireland knows what I'm on about. It's part of your childhood. So anyway, someone lit a fire down. We were all around there, and I was going, "Oh, someone lit a fire!" Awesome. And then some guy at the back of his window starts going insane, screaming, "Get that fire out!" And I'm just kind of standing going, "What?" And everyone starts running, but for some reason someone started throwing stones. I don't know, but it hit me in the back of the head, like a pretty bad, and kind of, jeez. And when I looked around, everyone had gone, and this guy is running at me. He's like 40-year-old man, whatever it is, screaming, really angry or whatever. And he starts telling me to put out the fire, and I'm going, "I'm not going to put out the fire," and I'm roaring, crying at this point. So I'm like 10, something, like quite young. And it's that thing, he's behind me here. And I ended up, he's screaming at me that I was putting my hands in the fire and pulling out rocks, and my hands getting all burnt and all this kind of stuff. It's quite intense, and traumatic. And eventually, anyway, I don't know how it ends. He leaves. I don't know if the fire goes out, whatever. I'm getting home or whatever. And cops can do nothing, because cops are useless. Had to go to the doctor to get it all kind of officially looked at, and recorded and all this kind of stuff. Not never. He just, you're able to abuse kids back in the day and nothing would happen. And, but that was just kind of when I came up in a meditation, actually, as these things done, that it was like, have you noticed that feeling you had when your man was doing that is also the feeling you had when you had that coffee? It's not funny. You should look at that. I was going, all right. And so that I would say that there is some sort of processing thing of why is this happening? Is that there's something I'm not looking at as well? I'm not saying it's the totality of it, because I don't know what it is. And I want to let it just be whatever it is, rather than immediately trying to go, oh, it's just trauma, it's just a demon, it's just felt presence. I'm open to it being all of these things or none of these things, but trying to be aware of all of the different factors it could be. Because it could be all the things.
There's something in of course it could be, but there's something in one of the Valis books where he's talking about one of the characters having this kind of a terrifying experience as well, and there's stuff going on for a while, but it turns out that it's how to explain it, there's something that the other is trying to tell him, trying to show him, and he won't see it because he's so afraid of it. And that's his thing. But it's when he sees it, then it's like it's gone, and it's like, okay, I get you.
Because that's the thing. It is similar, and that is because it's the fear is something I'm about to see, something is about to happen that's going to terrify me. So something I don't want to look at, right? I mean, clearly. So that's and that there's the presence, that it's not necessarily like as creepy and scary as the presence is being in your room. Sometimes I can wake up and
you're afraid of what's going to come next. Like.
Yeah, because other times I was saying, like, you can come in your room and you're half asleep and you're tired, go, tomorrow night, lads, come on. So you can get that it's that extra, what the fuck is about to happen, and I'm not able for this. There's something I'm not I don't want to see. And as you say, it's probably not as bad. It can't be as bad as I think it is, because it can't be. It just can't be. Nothing is horrible. Well, I hope. You go back next hour in 2 weeks and go, yeah, it was worse than I expected. Yeah. It was a cat with 17 eyes.
You reminded me of one of the articles I wrote. Spud Must Die. And I only read it back there last week because I was sharing it to the lads in one of the Discord channels. It reminded me of that.
What one's that? Because I'm sure I've read it.
It's about this kind of dream I had or meditation vision I had where I was in a public execution in France, and they brought me up to be beheaded, but it wasn't a guillotine, it was a chap with an axe. But the executioner, when he ended up taking off, or sorry, when he killed Spud, he took off his thing, and it was me as well.
Right,
but I'm also watching from the crowd. And no one else in the crowd is seeing that shit. These are the same two people, and I'm also here, kind of thing as well.
Yeah.
And in the article, I was talking about like 3 small, I don't know, characteristic changes you could say had happened to me in quick succession, and they were just this kind of thing, like something I would have always associated myself as being. You get me? So it's like, oh, that's a part of me, but that won't change. But then these 3 things just kind of fell away, man, and it was this. Rather than it being this kind of ego death that, hero victim complex that we all go, I want to kill my ego, blah, 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 blah. It wasn't that. It was just this kind of chipping away at, no, man, that's not who you think you are, because you're not, you're none of these things that you associate with. So I don't know, man, have a look at that. Maybe it's...
I'll read that again, yeah.
It could be just something like, Tommie's afraid not to be Tommie anymore. But Tommie's always going to be Tommie, because Tommie's Tommie.
Oh, it's grand. Just afraid of death, afraid of the unknown. All of it. It's. I think if it was just an experience that didn't have a history to it, you could probably have a different approach to it. But the fact that it's been around since I'm at least 10 or 11, I don't know. So it's do you have to say that whatever the trauma is born out of is something that happened to me before I was 10? Or, is it just something that's grown through successive traumas over a lifetime? I don't know. I'm just kind of, as I was saying, just trying to keep it as open as you're saying right there. So I look at it.
Well, you are, though, in fairness. You're pretty grounded about it. You're not up the walls with it. Oh, okay, well, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, but you're not. You're not up the walls. I've seen you up the walls. You're not. You're facing it head on, kind of thing. But it seems right. It's kind of like there's something there that you're not noticing, and it's just trying to put all the dots together, like,
Yeah. Oh, would be great when it's all sorted. When we've got everything done, and we go, there me and you sitting up in porch in heaven or wherever we end up. And we go, we did it. All of the stuff. Oh, we got through all of it. And then someone comes along and goes, lads, this is just a dream. It's another dream. It's a dream within a dream. You're really...
It happened 23 years ago, Jesse Pinkman.
Leonardo DiCaprio comes in and starts spinning his top.
What's his name? Paul Aaron? What's his name?
Yeah, Aaron Paul. I
really like him. He seems like a genuine nice fella.
Yeah.
But like, he just does like puppy dog eyes or shouting really loudly. He's great though. I love him.
I really like him.
He's great. There's a
brilliant one on everything though.
Yeah. There was a brilliant one on Reddit there last week. One of the big famous Breaking Bad episodes is he kind of saves this redhead kid of these 2 junkies, and it turns out that they was played by twins, and the Jesse and Walter are in Albuquerque for this unveiling of a brass statue of them, and the 2 twins just kind of walk up to get a photo, and he's like, shit! He remembers them. It's deadly. It's class, really nice.
Did you ever watch The Pat that he's in, where he's in a cult and he's trying to escape a cult? It's really good.
No.
Yeah. It's worth watching. I think there's 2 seasons.
Okay.
But he's plays the same guy in it, but it's really good. There's some weird stuff happens in it that you kind of go, oh, hold on, this isn't what I thought I was watching. But I'll not spoil that. So if anyone has, here's me trying to be a YouTuber. Look at me, it's pathetic. If anyone has any other stories where they would like to share, link it or to talk about it in the comment. Like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell so you know when the next episode is out.
Do you have a bell notifications for any YouTuber?
No, Jesus Christ, of course not.
No, I tried it. I tried it. It's just your phone is just bing, bing, bing. No, don't do this. Don't. This is awful.
Someone that you subscribed and haven't released, a video in like 3 years, and bing, you go, what? Why did I put the notifications on for that? But I know Phil Fish. No, just throw out Phil Fish in that he doesn't look at his feed. I definitely look at my feed on YouTube, like with my subscription feed.
Oh yeah, look at the feed, alright. Yeah.
I think if you're not looking at your feed, is you've subscribed to too many people who you don't like. That's what you should probably look at.
Unsubscribe, and it takes too long to unsubscribe. It's like trying to get rid of people on Twitter. Well, not my Twitter account, the old ones. Yeah. Anyway, football ones. Right. Look. Right. Bye everyone.